The Panthers Poundcast is for entertainment purposes only. The opinions expressed on the show are solely those of the presenters and in no way reflect the views of the Panthers organization.
Listener discretion is advised.
You got it.
This is Panthers Poundcast.
Welcome to the Panthers Poundcast. Jamikus Plow over here with the Splint, the Master Splint, to you.
How was your week?
Not bad. I don't know. Pretty damn hot out there, but I survived. How was your week?
Oh, yeah.
We're in
About the
Carolina,
same.
by the way.
Yeah.
Charlotte, home of the Panthers. For those of you who don't know, we have Iowa guy and other folk from faraway lands. So we are here in Carolina, where it's muggy and humid and shitty every day.
But it's rained every day.
It's the only bitter relief we get.
Yeah.
I like it, and it makes the mosquitoes go away just for a little bit.
I still hate this part of the year because there's very little football stuff going on. But we got training camp coming up. We got Fan Fest. Come find us at Fan Fest.
We have this many notes.
We'll have the banner there with us.
This many notes about the
Yeah.
Panthers. That guy who questioned us.
Yeah, that many notes.
Anyway, lighthearted. We're going to talk mainly about some linebacker news. We got, blah, 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 a little foreshadowing there. So we have some knowledge, a couple of articles about that, but we'll do some other assorted nuggetry right now. Starting with...
How about Russell Shepard being named the Panthers' best secret weapon?
As reported by Bleacher Report.
As reported by Bleacher Report. So, what do you think about that?
I mean, all of those are a crapshoot guess type article situations because they too have nothing to talk about. But why not, I guess? I don't know. His main point for picking Russell, I read the article, and he said that we're thin at wide receiver, which I guess we would all agree on. And he had an interesting Devin Funchess note, which was in his 2-year stretch here in Carolina, he's got 844 yards on 54 catches, which is super non-awesome. It's not the worst, but it's not what we need from a giant like him drafted in the second round.
So, do you think that Russell Shepard's actually going to get reps outside instead of... Because when we brought him in, the idea was that he was just going to be a slot receiver.
Yep.
He was kind of that guy.
Johnson too.
Right. And you're kind of, along with Curtis Samuel now from the draft, you're kind of loaded at slot.
Yep.
But is Devin Funchess on the outside with those kinds of numbers, like you said, 2 years, 844 yards, 54 catches, is that a liability? Is there a better option on the team? With so much talent in the slot, you got to imagine that one of them would be able to move out and perform better than that.
Well, only camp will tell.
That's 1 year, number 2 numbers.
Yep.
That's a weird way to say it.
And as much as we bitch about Kelvin, I mean, he's smoking Funchess in production.
Yeah, on his bad year, Kelvin's still
Better than 2 of his years.
He was what, 900 and something yards last year.
He missed a game or two, I believe.
Yeah, but if on a bad year you're a 1,000-yard receiver, then you're a decent wide receiver in the NFL.
Well, it was an interesting little nugget, and it remains to be seen. I do hope we get production from at least him or Charles Johnson. Someone else has to step up at receiver, for sure. We assume Samuel will help McCaffrey to a point.
I'm looking forward to their debut. But speaking of debuts...
Oh, look at you with your segue.
Yeah, you like that?
It wasn't bad. Who debuted at what?
D. Will debuted in his wrestling
I watched the stupid match. It was pretty good.
The frog splash at the end had me a little worried.
His wrestling persona, that is DeAngelo Williams' first-round draft pick. That's what they said. There's the first-round draft pick. DeAngelo Williams. Smiling. A real big change of persona there, DeAngelo. But cheers to your debut. Way to do great, and sorry the table didn't break.
Yeah, that looked like it hurt a lot. Maybe we'll put the link to that video.
Maybe that's just to show how tough you are, and yes, we will. We will promote you.
Down in the info.
You're my favorite wrestler currently, since Stone Cold's put up the boots.
For sure.
You're my favorite wrestler right now.
I couldn't name you 5 wrestlers if I had to.
The WWE is a dismal dumpster fire. It's comparable to Atlanta.
That's the Los Pantera topic. He could name you all of them.
I try to watch the pay-per-views with him, like the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania, just because I, as a child, loved wrestling so much. But the characters just suck. It just isn't any good.
I watched UFC now, like a little more here recently.
That's too violent for my liberal taste.
Oh yeah?
Yes.
Well, I love it. And I'm just saying, the storylines in the UFC are better than the ones in the WWE.
The storylines in my sock drawer are
and at
better
the
than
end,
ones
somebody
in the WWE.
actually gets their ass beat.
All true and positive things. But mad respect to you, D-Will.
For sure.
Another rare, talked about player, but also very important to our team since he's been here. Mr. Kirk Coleman, number 20.
Love me some Kirk Coleman.
Ranked number 4 on the ball hawk list from the Bleacher Report. Now, and he, as the last 2 years, he's the leading interception feller.
Right.
The last 3 years in the NFL, he's tied for second with Marcus Peters from Kansas City. You know how they have a somewhat decent defense. If you're going to give credit to people that suck
Reggie
ass.
Nelson from Oakland is number 1.
Oakland/LV.
Oh, the Las Vegas Raiders.
It's so weird. It's just looking at it on the paper, it says LV, and it's just like,
You know how hard it is for me to say Los Angeles Chargers?
And Rams.
Well, the LA Rams, I can say LA Rams. I have a hard time saying LA Chargers, Los Angeles Chargers. They're going to be playing in a freaking soccer stadium that holds 30,000 people.
And they also are not going to be talked about a lot because they won't win any games.
No. I did hear, I know that we're focused on the Panthers, but I heard an interesting theory that Phillip Rivers, who actually went to NC State, so there's our tie-in,
Yep.
North Carolina boy.
He's a crybaby.
If he really wants a ring, asked to be traded to Denver. They need a quarterback, and if he went to Denver, they would be an instant Super Bowl contender.
That's a spectacle, I guess. I don't know. I disagree. I think he sucks.
You think he sucks? He's Hall of Fame bound.
For crying and tears and sadness from sucking.
I do not feel this way, Philip. I know
cry,
Philip
Neil
Rivers is a die-hard Poundcast watcher, so...
You're not a real man, Phillip Rivers. That's how I feel about you. But anyways, mad respect to Kirk Coleman. He's around the ball a lot. We appreciate you getting interceptions. Another stat about him, he allowed 23 catches on 34 targets last year for only 265 yards the whole season versus his 4 interceptions and all his breakups. You take a player like that, that's a Pro Bowl caliber fella right there.
Yeah, I'll take that all day long.
50
yards, just over 50, 60 yards given up for every interception that you get.
I'll
take
it. Not bad at all. And that's lived the whole damn year.
I want to see what those numbers are for Trey Boston.
Another name like Nakamura who will just rest away from us. Going back to number 1, Mr. Newton, he is being predicted to have a nice, successful bounce-back year. Him and Eli Manning were both named as the top 2 contenders for a bounce-back season based on the offensive weaponry and additions to their line that we have received in said offseason.
God, I hope so.
I mean, it's almost inevitable for him to have a better year than last year. It's just how good will it be is where we're at.
I find myself constantly having to defend Cam still, and I don't understand it. He had a bad year last year. But he was the MVP before.
And we had a makeshift O-line that had, 8 or 9 different incarnations throughout a season. That's never a recipe for what Cam Newton's trying to do. Our receivers are trash, other than Benjamin. I mean, Ginn had a good year, but, it's still...
Cam Newton is the greatest rushing quarterback of all time.
And that's a hands down.
I was having a discussion with one of Leah's cousins. I think I talked about them last week. But they told me that they don't think that Cam Newton will go to the Hall of Fame. I think Cam Newton's going to go to the Hall of Fame on his rushing ability alone. The spectacle that is Cam Newton.
Especially once he wins a bowl. There's no way he leaves this league without a Super Bowl ring.
No.
He's just too determined. I just don't think it won't. And it could be one of those things where it's like the Peyton Manning syndrome where he takes him 13 fucking years. But they're eventually going to rig the shit and give Cam one.
And you saw that interview, the quote from Cam Newton where he said, with everything that I've accomplished and everything that's happened to me over the course of my NFL career, the only thing I'm missing is a ring.
I agree.
And
or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or 8.
Yeah.
Please.
multiple rings.
Since we're talking about number one, we'll segue that into another very cool article about records that are very likely to be broken in 2017. And there's some pretty cool ones, and then one is just kind of bizarre, and it's a out there one. But Cam has one. He needs just 2 more wins to tie Jake Delhomme as the most winning quarterback, 3 to become the most winningest quarterback in franchise history.
I think we're going to do that this year.
Oh, we're having a crossing season. We'll see what happens. Chances are that one passes from number one. Another one, Mr. J. Stu, needs 208 yards to tie DeAngelo as the franchise leading rusher, and 209 to surpass him.
So who do we play week 3?
Saints. I was about to say, I have it on week 3 for sure in one game.
Oh,
so
man.
Stewart, barring severe injury, will 100% break that record this year.
For sure.
Greg Olson will break, I think is it week 3? Yeah, by week 3 he will break the most games played by tight ends, passing Wesley Wall's record. And the bizarre one is, there's one more regular one. Kelvin Benjamin, if by week 14 can get to 2,500 yards, he'll be the fastest to ever do it, beating Musa Muhammad.
In Panther history?
Yep. These are all team records.
Right.
These are all team records. And then the weird one is no player in Panthers history has ever had 2 fumble recoveries for a touchdown. We have 16 players with fumble recoveries with touchdowns, no doubles. So they predict that Shaq or TD or someone will do that this year. Which is
no.
Off the wall.
It's going to be Munnerlin.
Yeah, but he's got picks.
I know, but he's going to get a fumble recovery. Take him for the touchdown.
Captain rules, man. I'm happy he's back. He's a hell of a player. He's still a young man, and that will be cool as hell. Greg Olson, speaking of him passing Wesley Walls, he's also ranked as one of the most overshadowed players in the NFL, which I think is fair.
I think so too, and especially with the level of talent that you have, and even when they're playing badly, we have superstars. Cam Newton is a superstar.
I think Greg Olson, the reason that is because he has superstar numbers and status and playability, but he's even when he scores, he's just a guy that throws the fucking ball down and goes back to the bench. You know what I mean?
For sure.
He's only emotional when he's screaming because of bullshit. Otherwise, when he's doing his craft, he's not like Gronk being a fucking asshole. He's not like Witten and all these guys that are all showboating and everything. Olsen throws the ball down and goes back to the huddle.
Like I said, I think that there's only so much like fame and glamour to go around on a team. And when you have a player like Cam Newton, who
sucks up 92% of it,
right? Like love him or hate him, he seeks out the camera. Like that's him, and I think it's hilarious.
Me too. I love Cam Newton, 100%.
But it kind of makes it difficult for people to focus on other players. And Greg Olson is the only player to have 3 back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons
in history. And he's already top 10 in touchdowns. Mm-hmm. I think if he's not, he's right there, and he's going to be there this year.
I think that he's easily 3rd, maybe 2nd best tight end in the league.
And I think only Witten has more consecutive games than him because he was also been in the league before him.
You're right, and Witten's just a machine.
But Olsen's a machine. It's in no games
for sure. I'm interested to see how long. What if he goes his entire career without missing a game?
Why not?
What's the record for that?
Don't know, and I don't know if he didn't miss any in Chicago.
That's true.
Because he could.
Because who cared?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Chicago.
And that's about all I've got until we move. Oh, that's not true. Old 89 said he will think about retiring a Panther. That's worth a note.
Oh yeah,
that's worth a note.
I put that on the site.
That's worth a note. Just I don't know. It's funny and it's sad.
It just hurts. Like
that's my favorite dude, old Steve.
For real. Like I can't imagine he wouldn't.
He's just gonna wait for the Gettleman to get out of here.
But here's the thing: is he wants to do it for Jerry. If he wants to do it, it's
and
for
the
Jerry
fans and himself.
And will Gettleman be here longer than Jerry?
Who knows? I don't think Jerry's ever gonna die, though, dude. He's got like a 10-year-old girl's heart. It's a true story.
Yeah.
That's just got some miles left on it.
I don't know, man. The body starts to shut down at some point.
No, do you ever see that episode of South Park where you inject cash to cure AIDS?
Oh, yeah.
It cures everything.
That's how Magic Johnson's still alive.
I'm telling you. Jerry was going to have a lot of cash to be
right into the veins.
And he's alive and well to see his 7 or 8 Super Bowl victories.
Which would be brought to him by our linebacking core.
Oh man, we forgot one other thing, but it's not even important. We're going to the linebacker topic, and I'll throw that nugget in at the end because it's not a great nugget.
Okay.
So the main topic, as you mentioned earlier, is the Thomas Davis extension that he desires before training camp begins, but has said there are no talks have begun at all. How you feel about it?
Okay. I need to preface this entire statement with I love Thomas Davis. I think that he is the greatest Panther not named Steve Smith of all time.
Or a rookie number.
He is the epitome of what I want on the football team. He is the consummate professional. He played the Super Bowl with a broken arm.
And did well.
He is an absolute madman, and I love him. That being said, I do not think the Panthers should extend Thomas Davis. I think that you let him play the 2017 season, and then you have to either make him a Panther for life by retiring his or putting him in the Ring of Honor. Do whatever you have to do. I don't want to say forced retirement, but that's kind of what it is. He's said before that he doesn't. He won't play anywhere else. He is loved in this town. He could instantly become a sideline reporter.
He did not say that as the last article I read. He said, I don't like to think about ending my career with another team because I don't want to, but business is business.
I couldn't imagine him playing for another team.
But it can happen. I couldn't imagine Steve in another jersey.
That's true.
Happened. I couldn't imagine John Casey going in the damn Saints after he left here.
But here's the thing. He's a 35-year-old man. Will be 36 when his contract voids.
Bionic knee stands for something, dude. He's at least 31 in kneecaps now.
He's had 3 knee surgeries.
They're all bionic. He's a machine.
It was all on the same knee.
That's how come his knee's awesome. It's supercharged.
It's a 3 times super knee.
It's like a Hemi knee.
But he is currently making $9 million a year. Average. So the question is, can you get him to come back
For less.
I want to see that number somewhere around 4.
We've had a history. The dude has gone out of his way to talk about never wanting to leave, wants to be here, blah, blah, blah. Meaning, don't disrespect me with your offer, but I'm willing to maybe do the Jordan Gross thing or there's a lot of guys, the Charles Johnson thing, and take less to be where they want to be. Not the Norman thing, not the Ted Ginn thing, but the classy, I've got shit tons of money and I'm not a fucking retard, so I can actually take a little less to play football another season where I want to be.
Well, there's also another reason that I'm concerned is I don't want to take too long with Shaq Thompson. I think that Shaq Thompson and Luke Kuechly are the future of this defense. And if you extend Thomas Davis, you're talking about him going into the 4th. This is the 3rd year of his career. So this after Thomas Davis retires or after next season, he'll be going into his 4th year. And after that, we have to decide on his option. Do we get to keep this guy that we spent a 1st-round pick on?
We're going to know.
And he never started.
They've already said his role's expanded. He's taken more reps and snaps. You're going to see this year whether he's worth it or not.
That makes you wonder if he performs well this season. Do you think Thomas Davis is back on this team in 2018?
Shaq or Thomas Davis can move to the other side as well. I mean, there's a plethora of options.
Right, but you're not seeing 3 linebacker sets as much anymore in the NFL. It's just not happening. You're having these box safeties. You're having your nickel corners. It's
with the way we play though, having as many genius brains in there is what's important as anything, and rotating those guys out is huge
for sure.
Keeping them fresh.
But paying, you're going to have to pay Shaq Thompson. He will get money.
These are all 3 year down the road problems. Sir.
That's 1 year down the road.
3 years. 3 years. Alex Arnold a 6 year veteran, and it's 3 years.
What?
Just a little ode to our not here brother that we haven't even mentioned again.
Hey, Los.
Hello, Los Panteras. Who isn't here again? We were here, and then he let us know he was not going to be here 7 minutes after show was supposed to start. So that's how that went down. He's your friend, guys. You guys love him. We do too, a lot, some days. But anyway,
what else we got going on?
That's one thing that you guys should comment about. Let us know what you think about the Thomas Davis situation. I mean, I think a lot of people's heartstrings say you have to keep him, and I feel that way. I mean, you do have to keep him. He's just the man. Let him stay around. He deserves a ring. That's another thing to consider. And
well, let's go get him one this year and let him retire,
dude. And that's interesting too. Would he quit, go out on top like that, and say just fuck it? But it's one of the things. Just like Musa Muhammad, and all their wives tell them, do it till your wheels fall off. Not just pushing them. You're not going to do it 10 more years. If you can do it this year, do it. Right. It's one of those things. So I think TD will be here. I just think so. But then again, Gettleman's a cold-hearted bastard, so you never know.
We didn't think we were getting rid. Well, I thought we were getting rid of D-Well, but we didn't think we were getting rid of Steve. We didn't think we would cut Jordan Gross or not pay him. It's strange. It is a strange new era, and it's not really new anymore.
No, it's not at all.
But it is definitely different than what we came to expect from Marty Herney, which was to crumble and pay everybody
who ever had a good game.
Which, to be fair, it drove our team into the ground. Paying our backfield $90 million was a bad decision.
Gettleman handcuffed for a season. I'm pretty sure he was even here, which we still managed to make the playoffs, so that was pretty great. Moving on to, we've talked about 58, now we'll talk about 59. Mr. Kuechly. He was named the best building block on our team by a Bleacher Report article, which Splinter, I think you agree?
I do. I think that he is hands down the best player on our team at his position.
All around ability for what he does, you have to say that. There's inarguable, I would say. The only person you could argue might be Olson but it's not as important.
He is a generational talent, and I think that he is so young. But to be fair, you brought up that he has the injury concerns, and
keeping his health is a huge concern. Not to him; he's going to have a great attitude about it and everything else. But
he said he's not even thinking about it.
Well, when we saw Dan Morgan go down, we saw Beeson go down. We see it happen, and that's either knees, concussions, whatever. I mean, he requires contact on 98% of every play that occurs.
For sure,
he's tackling 100+ solo tackles and another 50 or 60 combines. He's breaking up passes. He's blocking. He's killing people. It makes me nervous. But also know he's a tough son of a bitch, and he ain't going down without swinging, so I don't know. I also think in comparison to calling him the building block, I disagree, because I think even though he's amazing generational talent as he is, I think replacing a superstar quarterback is harder than finding a great or good middle linebacker. Those are more, I don't want to call them dime a dozen, but they're more frequent than your franchise quarterback.
But how long do you honestly think Cam has left being as productive as he has been? He's 28 years old this season.
That's all just a guess based on what he does or doesn't do with his mechanics. Like, I can say or throw a number at you. It depends on the O-line. It depends on refs not hating him. It depends on a lot of shit that we can't foresee until every game occurs.
Right.
But I'd give him at least 5 more years.
I would say 5.
At least.
I would say 5.
His body.
Playing the way that he does.
No, and that's what I'm saying. He can get smarter, get better. We keep the weapons around. He can get less mobile and still have the ability to keep you on your toes. We'll see, man. This year is going to determine a lot. It'll determine, did we make the right moves and shift in the offense the way we need Cam to go? And we're on the linebacker topic, but whatever. We did bolster our offense this year big time, and I think it's going to be huge. But that's just my opinion on that. I mean, it goes back. Ben Boulware is apparently making a lot of waves at the mini camps and everything else. They said Mayo's champion pretty much got number 4 locked up, taking Klein's place. He's going to be special teaming. He'll probably see a little more field time on some rotations. And then you got Jeremy Cash, Zeke Bigger, and fucking Boulware fighting out for the last spot. Cash was praised heavily last year.
For sure. And he's a local boy, played for Duke.
It's going to be interesting, man. I don't know. The Boulware dude's not really oversized, but he's apparently just super aggressive. And
what is it with liking people from around here? Boulware's from Clemson.
I mean, it's cool. That maybe they try harder or something. I don't know. It's
Trey Boston's from Carolina.
Not anymore.
Mike Tolbert was from Coastal.
Brenton Burson.
Norman played at Coastal.
Brenton Burson.
Brenton Burson from Wofford.
My favorite Panther of all time.
Oh, yeah. Armani Edwards from Appalachian State University.
Panther of all time. It's going to just be interesting. It's great to have that as an issue. Which decent to semi-good, really good linebacker is going to not make the team because we have too many good ones. That's a good problem to have. It seems like we've always kind of excelled in the linebacker position. I can't think of the recent years where we've just had a shit linebacking core.
I can't either, and especially since Rivera's been here. Rivera was a linebacker on the 86 Bears.
And that's important.
I mean, he played with Mike Singletary.
And you see, too, with the selection of Luke, how important they value the position.
Right.
To pick him at number 9 over so many other needs for the team.
For sure. I think that Rivera went to Hurney that year and said,
"This is the guy I want.
I need my middle linebacker," because Beeson was coming off that injury. And I remember watching Luke... if I remember correctly, he started at will. He started at the
on our team, yes. Yeah, they gave Beeson the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
And Kuechly he went down at one time. Keek had a great game. They're like, all right then. Well, there's that.
Yeah, and he's never going to lose his spot as long as he's healthy.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
His brains alone. He's calling out the offensive plays before.
I mean, his football IQ is up there with Brady. I mean, he's just.
I think so too.
And I like to point out that we are 1-0 against Tom Brady with the Cam and Luke generation. 1-0.
Yeah.
We're undefeated. But that may end week 4 this year. May end. But right now we're undefeated against Tom Brady. I'm gonna leave that there. Dude, that would be a hell of a fucking victory if we go into Foxborough and win. I'm looking. Me and Carlos Pantera, if he gets up in time, will be at that game. That'll be interesting to see how that goes. What the hell? Oh, that fella from the NFL analyst panel, Willie McGinnis, ranks our linebackers that we're talking about so frequently today 3rd in the NFL behind Kansas City and Denver.
Kansas City is Tamba Hali, Justin Houston, Derek Johnson, and D. Ford. And the Broncos, of course, are Brandon Marshall, Todd Davis.
And some other weirds.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just don't like that team. I really hate them. I'll hate them forever. Fuck that city and that place and everything. That Super Bowl is rigged. I hate Peyton Manning.
I'm just saying, I can see the depth argument, maybe.
That is his main argument.
But here's the thing, is Thomas Davis and Luke Kuechly, when on the field together, are the best linebacking core in the NFL.
And they're far more handsome.
Absolutely.
Which weighs a lot on the Poundcast.
Yeah, I mean...
You have
to there's not a dry set of panties in the house when Luke takes his helmet.
And a few secret jock straps for people who don't admit things.
Looking at you, Los Pantera.
Yeah, you out there. And that's really the majority of the things we have. The 2 things we didn't mention that were assorted nuggetry were Darrell Williams assures us that the right tackle spot is his. Through camp, he's going to start. He said that's where he ended up last year. He's comfortable. He said that's just how it's going to be, and he's got a plan, and that his plan is just to do it.
His plan better involve beating out Taylor Moton. Because,
I mean, I always feel like a veteran has the upper hand, but at the same time, a rookie comes in and shows his mettle, you just don't know. And then the Twitter Fresh Prince thing, we didn't talk about that. The Panthers Twitter strikes again.
Oh, yeah.
39 separate posts with the first word of a line, or what the hell ever, the Fresh Prince theme song. I guess, in terms of off-season, with nothing else to do, that's pretty sly. So good for you.
It's only 37 words long?
39.
39.
No, just like in
West.
All About or whatever, Philadelphia. No, it's like, shit.
What's the West Philadelphia?
But they started with the story before. The prelude thing is what they did. This is a story all about that's how
life got flipped, turned upside down.
That one. Like, you take a minute to sit right there. It's 39, I think. Does anyone know? I don't know. But it's sly. Whatever. Go Twitter. I don't even fucking Twitter or tweet or twit or whatever. I don't hashtag things. I hash brown.
We got a tweeter.
We do?
Yeah.
I don't do that. That's his fault, I guess. But tweet at us, I guess.
Yeah, at Poundcast.
I don't know. I still use email.
2
sometimes.
capital P's. PP.
PP. I don't know. But thanks for watching. We tried to make this as interesting and informative as we could to get back at some of the criticism that we get from random people who hate us and how we look. And we've made a lot of notes for a week or 2 where there were really no notes to be made. So go to hell if you think this was a non-informative show. We tried really hard to satisfy you, one guy who criticizes us. And Iowa guy, what's up? You know, you're great. I'm sure you're watching and drinking beers.
I should go through our comment section and just say, hey, everybody.
Well, hell, we don't have much else to do. Maybe that'll be our next topic. We'll just have comment wars.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Leave a comment and we'll respond. Ask a question. We'll answer it on the next week's show.
And there were some more other good topics that we put down on the list for future shows. Keep them coming. Keep some more different topics coming. It's great.
For sure.
I like the one that was like the top 10 things the Panthers need to do to be successful. That's a pretty good one. Maybe narrow it down to 5, but then that's a pretty good topic.
I'd say number 1 would have to be win more games.
See, we already have the subject coming together.
God,
You're
fucking
actually
geniuses.
analytic genius. You took the word out of my mouth. But once again, maybe, we're always looking for guest panelists as well.
Absolutely.
Since sometimes our schedules don't permit us to have our third larger friend. And so let us know if you're knowledgeable and not a douchebag and want to be on the show sometime.
Yeah, we'd love to have you.
If you're not knowledgeable, this one guy will criticize you.
For sure.
On the comments. Just so you know.
It'll be me.
But keep pounding. It was great being with you here in Mr. Rogers' neighborhood.
You have yourself a good
Friday.
Keep pounding.
If you like us, please subscribe to us at Panthers Poundcast on YouTube.
Cam says, like on Facebook.
And click the bell next to subscribe to get notifications every time we release a new video. Keep
Keep pounding.